Welcome to question 4 on the Year 12 PPE. This question is a modelling question concerning carbon emissions from cars over a period of time. So starting in 1997, they give you the rate of emissions of new cars, and it seems that it's fallen by 2005, and the suggestion is it will continue to fall at a linear rate, and we need to use a linear model to show this. So what we're going to do is form an equation of a line linking A with N. So A is the vertical axis here, okay, which is the carbon emissions, and it's going to be a linear model which is declining, so it's going to look something like this graphically. Okay, and we know that N represents the number of years after 1997. Okay, so the zero count starts at 1997. So we know that after 0 years, in other words, in 1997, the emissions were 188. So this point here is the point 0,188. Okay, in our linear model. And we know that if we go along 8 years time in 2005, okay, so this is 8 years time, that point is 8,167, okay, based on the information given in the question. So our linear model is just continuing in that straight line, predicting what might happen in the future. Now, we've got to find an equation. Well, we're going to use the idea that it's of the form y equals mx plus c, okay, but I'm going to put that in inverted commas because, of course, we're not using y or x. Instead, we're using a for y and n for x. So in other words, our equation is going to look like this, okay, a equals mn plus c, okay, well, m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept, which of course we can see is 188. But let's work out what m is. Okay, so m is going to equal the change in y, okay, divided by the change in x, and it's a negative gradient, so it's going to be the negative of 188 minus 167 in a bracket like that, divided by the change in x, which is from 0 to 8, so that's 8, okay, and that comes out to be 21 over 8, or negative 21 over 8 as the gradient. Okay, so the equation that we want is that a equals negative 21 over 8 n plus 188. Okay, so you must use the correct letters there as given in the question. Now, in part B, we are given an example of what the carbon emissions were in 2016. Okay, now 2016 is 19 years after 1997, so n is 19. So 2016, I'll just make a note of that. 2016, right, n equals 19. Now we just substitute into our model, our linear model. So according to this, a equals negative 21 over 8 times 19, okay, plus 188. Okay, and if you put that in the calculator, you get 138.125, okay, Now you need to make a conclusion that's appropriate. That's grams per kilometre. Okay. Now, clearly we can see that 118 differs quite a bit from 138. So our conclusion needs to be that the model is not very good. Okay, it's not very suitable, but we need to say why. So we need to just conclude it. Therefore, model unsuitable. Model unsuitable. Use the same language that they use in the question. Okay. Since well, obviously 138 is bigger than 118, but you need to say how much, a sort of comparison really, since 138.125 is more than 20 units different from 188. Sorry, from 118. Or something like that. Something that acknowledges you've recognised that there is quite a gap between those two figures. Okay, and that's that question done.